Hey guys, today I'm back with another video, and today I am going to be showing you my setup for my Leopard Gecko. So, I just cleaned this out, took all the bedding out of it. So I'm going to show you what I used to clean the sides, I'm going to show you my bedding, I'm going to show you the setup, such as like what I use for little hideout places and stuff like that. So, let's get right into it. So first, I'm going to be cleaning out the sides of the terrarium, and for this I am using Wipeout. It just, cleans the tank and makes it smell better. And to use this, all you're going to have to do is spray the sides of the tank first, and then spray the bottom after, and just wipe them all off with a paper towel, and I'm going to be showing you me doing that. So, I don't know how well you can see it, but just spray the sides. So once you've sprayed all the sides, you're just going to want to wipe it down, and I'm going to do that real quick. And once you're done spraying all the sides, then just put some sprays on the bottom. Also, I do recommend that you buy some kind of reptile spray, just because stuff like Windex will not be the best for your gecko or reptile or whatever you have. So I have just finished cleaning out the tank, and now I'm going to show you the bedding I use. So for my bedding for my tank, I use Eco Earth. Eco Earth is just loose coconut fiber, and I really recommend getting this because it is safe for your leopard gecko. So when buying a leopard gecko, make sure you guys buy the right substrate, because substrate is honestly one of the most important thing with having a leopard gecko, just because the wrong substrates can kill it. So you're just going to want to open your bag of your substrate and pour it all onto the bottom. This is a 40-gallon tank, and I find that if you buy one bag of the Eco Earth, it fills up the whole tank just fine. So that's what I do. Once you put in your bag of Eco Earth, or you can also buy a block that expands into like 5 times what it is, just in some water. You're gonna just want to flatten it out. And before we get too much farther in this setup, I'm going to talk about what you're gonna need for your setup. So for your setup, you're obviously gonna need substrate. You're also going to need some kind of overhead heat source, which in my case I use a heat lamp, just with a white bulb, I'm pretty sure it's just called. Of course, as I already showed, you're gonna want something to clean out the sides of your tank, and also you're gonna probably want a couple plants. So these are just fake plants that I got from Petco. It just is a good like shade spot, I guess you could say, and a good hiding spot for my gecko. And he really likes the plants too. He sits under them a lot. Also, you're going to want 3 hiding spots, or if you're using like about a 15-gallon tank, which I recommend that being the smallest size tank. This is a 40, and I think it just fits perfect for him. But if you are doing a 40-gallon tank, you're going to probably want 3 hides. The reason you want 3 hides is because leopard geckos heat and cool themselves off by going to separate side of the tanks. Obviously the hot and the cool ends of the tanks, just to like keep their body heat regulated. So for this tank, obviously since it's a 40-gallon tank, I have 3 hiding spots. So I have one side hiding spot right here. I have one hide for the hot end. And finally, I have a humid hide, which goes right in the middle of the tank. And it helps a lot with shedding. And this is just basically a log. I also have a heat mat, which is right here on the hot end. It is like right here. You could see the heat mat in the shots earlier. I just forgot to actually show it. But yeah, it is about in the back corner. And also, you are going to want a bowl for their water. Probably have some kind of maybe object in it for the crickets to get out. In my case, I have a bowl. It's with him in the little enclosure he's staying in right now. But I usually take the bowl out when I'm feeding him. And finally, this does not really go with the tank, but it more goes with your gecko. You're going to want some kind of like calcium powder that you can put on the crickets when you're feeding your gecko, because that keeps their bones strong and makes it so they can obviously walk around and stuff. But yeah, now let's actually get into the setup. So, first off, we're going to start with putting our hot end hide, which is going to go right here. And second, we are going to put in our log. There's just some powder on the back from pouring in crickets. We are going to put this right in the middle because this is his humid hide, as I said. And for his last hide, there's this nice, you can you put it against the glass and you can see him through it. And I put this hide on the way far end of the tank, right here. Next, we're going to put in our plants. So first we're going to start off with a small plant. I like to put this one back here in the corner. And after, I have the bigger plant that I like to put right in the front here. This is one of his favorite plants. He likes to hide under it a lot, just because it does give him shade from the heat lamp. And also, as I forgot to mention, it's kind of hard to show this, but this is just a 40-gallon reptile top to put on it. I do recommend that you, of course, have the netted. Let me get close. You can probably see that. Just more like a netted kind of thing. It is metal, but it just makes it so that there's more airflow around the tank, because you don't want it getting too hot. And then obviously I just turn this on and it goes right on top here. And this is the water bowl I was talking about. I just like to put this right in the corner here. Also, one more thing you will probably want to think about before you get your water bowl is you want to make sure that it is pretty big. Not too big, but you want to make sure that they could probably like sit in it or lay in it, whatever you want to call it. Because they do like doing that sometimes. I've caught mine a few times just laying in the bowl. So yeah, you definitely want to get a bowl that's about the size of your leopard gecko, just so if it wants to, it can go in there. So that is pretty much it for my setup, and let's get the gecko. And finally, of course, I have my gecko. He is currently shedding, so it is hard to see his colors on his body. So his tail is pretty big. Still probably working on getting it bigger, but yeah. So let's put him into the enclosure. So we're just gonna set him down right in front here. Sorry, it's hard to see. But as you can see, he is pretty white right now just because he is shedding. And he goes right into the humid hide. But yeah, so just remember, if your gecko ever gets almost white, you're just gonna have to know that he's shedding. Also, I feed my gecko every about other day. You're gonna want to feed, if you have a baby leopard gecko, you're gonna want to feed it every day. And for under the tank, I just have some tile that was left over from building the house. What are you doing? So of course it is important to have the hot hide, the humid hide, and the cold hide. Like I said, if you have a 15-gallon tank, you just want a hot hide and a cold hide, because you do not want to cluster your tank too much, because you obviously want space for them to move around freely, for them to hunt and stuff. Every time I feed him about a dozen crickets. So I'm going to be feeding him soon. If you guys would like to see a video of me feeding him and a video how to feed leopard geckos, then just like the video and comment down below that you would like to see that. There's only one thing this tank is missing, and that's thermostat or thermometer, whatever you want to call it, to measure the heat or how hot the tank is. I will be getting that shortly. If you guys would like to buy any of the stuff that I used in this video, most of this stuff was purchased from a Petco. So if you go to your local Petco, you will probably find most of the stuff that I used in this video. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!